Hey, what's going on, guys? I have a video response, sort of contest entry, something like that, for Ricky Russo, who I just discovered a few weeks ago. So I actually did a binge watching when I discovered him. A couple days after I subscribed to him, I watched about 30, 35 videos in a row, kind of see what he collects, which is a huge mix of things, kind of like what I used to do, which I've gotten away from now. I don't do like the multi-sport stuff except for a few individual people. You guys already know this. Anyway, Ricky Russo. So I want to give him a little shout out. Want to enter this contest. He's giving away a bunch of cards. I actually want a real simple card. Not one of the higher dollar ones, whatever. Just something kind of cool, little card for the PC. But I wanted to participate too. Plus, this gives him a shout out, and maybe he'll get some extra subscribers and stuff. You guys are loyal to me, and hopefully you go check out his stuff. He's got some really high-end cards, and like I said, pretty mixed. So no matter what sport you like, I think you'll like his stuff. So check it out. If you don't like it, don't subscribe. If you do, hit that little red button. I think it's red. Shit, it might be green, might be yellow. Depends. YouTube's owned by Google, and they change their logo every day, so you know how that works. Anyway, this contest is real simple. He basically said, tell me a joke. Doesn't matter what joke, just tell me a joke. So, I don't know jokes. I don't tell jokes in my personal life. I absolutely love stand-up comedy. I have the confidence to do it. I don't mind being on stage. I don't mind being in front of camera. None of this stuff bothers me. But I don't think I'm that funny, off the cuff maybe at times. I can make my friends laugh, There's always those people in groups. I have some friends that make me laugh, and I know I make some of my friends laugh, but I don't write jokes. So I stole this one off the internet. Haven't rehearsed it. I'm going to give it a go. Put my own little flavor in it, just because I don't remember it correctly. But it should do the trick. And Ricky, I appreciate it. And for any children out there, get the hell out. This is not for you. This is semi-adult, sort of. So you've been warned. Kick your kids out of the room. Anyway, a woman and her husband wanted to throw weddings for their 3 daughters who were engaged, but they realized they didn't have the funds. So they sat down with the daughters and they said, look, we want to have dream weddings for each of you. We really do. We just don't have the funds. Let's think of something we can do to make this work. How can we get all of you 3 a beautiful wedding? And the daughters said, well, let's think about it. They brainstormed and came to a conclusion, what if we all had one big wedding on the same day, get married at the same time, at the same place, have the reception back at the house, stay there the first night, and then we can spend the rest of the money on a honeymoon. Mother loved it. She said, that's the idea. That's what we're going with. We're going to do that. So a few months later, they had the wedding, big day. Everybody's super excited. The 3 daughters all married these men that they were totally in love with. So after the wedding, after the reception back at the house, everybody finally settled in for the evening. It's after midnight. And they were in their childhood home. So they all had their individual bedrooms, 1, 2, and 3, right down the hall from mom and dad. The mom couldn't sleep. For whatever reason, she was just overly excited, I guess, from the wedding. So she said, I'm going to go get a drink of water. She told her husband, I'll be back. She walked out her door. She was going down the hallway. She wanted to go down to the kitchen, get a drink of water. She walked past her oldest daughter's door, the first door she came to. She couldn't help but hear a little bit of screaming inside, almost yelping. And she's like, oh my, she's becoming a woman. She kind of giggled, and she continued to go on her way, mind her own business. She passed her middle daughter's door, and she heard some giggling. She's like, giggling? She's like, oh, okay, I get it. Good for her, becoming a woman. So she kept walking. She's like, I'm going to go get that water. She finally came past the last daughter's room, and she said, I don't hear anything. She thought it was odd. She didn't want to be intrusive. But she kind of leaned up against the door, and she heard nothing. No noise. So she thought, well, I hope everything's okay. And she moved on. She went and got her water. Went back to bed. Didn't think anything of it the rest of that evening. The next morning, all the men, all the women, they were downstairs for breakfast. Right after breakfast, the men said, hey, let's go out. Let's go fishing real quick or something. Just so the women can have their own time. Let the women spend a little time together. Let them talk about the wedding yesterday and stuff. And then tomorrow we all leave for our big honeymoons. So women are like, great, this will be awesome. We want some girl time. We want just us. So the guys took off. All the men were gone. Just the women at the breakfast table, just talking over a cup of coffee. The mother said, hey, I don't want to be rude, and I don't want to get involved in this, but I left my room last night to go get a cup of water. and I heard you guys when I walked past your doors." She looked at the oldest daughter and said, "I heard you screaming." And the daughter looked shocked, but she was like, "Well, Mom, you told me if something hurts, it's okay to scream." So they both kind of chuckled, and the middle daughter was laughing even harder. The mother looked at the middle daughter and said, "Hearing you laugh reminds me, when I walked past your door, I heard you giggling uncontrollably. Something must have been really funny." And the middle daughter said, "You always told me if something tickles, it's okay to laugh." So I laughed. And they all laughed together. They said, "Okay, okay. Well, at least you guys are having fun." The mother, kind of concerned, looked at the youngest daughter and said, "Was everything okay with you?" And the youngest daughter said, "Yeah, absolutely. It was the best night of my life." And she said, "Well, what about your husband?" She said, "He was thrilled. He's never been happier." And she said, "Well, I don't want to pry, but when I walked past the other girls' rooms to go get that water, I kind of heard that there was nothing going on in your room. It was pretty quiet. I thought maybe something was wrong." The youngest daughter said, "Well, Mom, you always told me, don't talk when your mouth is full." Later, Ricky.